Halloween is nearly here, and what better way to prepare for it with a little bit of extra binge watch or some good old nerve-wracking jump scare to keep you in shape. So, whether you're planning to do that by yourself or a significant other, here's our top 10 extra spicy horror games to play this Halloween on your Android and iOS devices. First things first, we've actually got no choice but to give it to FNAF, the first. This is the most purchased horror game on Android of all time, awarded by the Google Play a week ago as the #1 paid action game, let alone horror games on mobiles. Five Nights at Freddy's is rated a 4.8 out of 5. Whether you have or haven't played the mobile version, this one is a must if you're looking for a good jump scare. Still looks great, works great, and is about 110 megabytes only, somehow. Coming up behind that, we have Horror Tale 2, Samantha. I've mentioned the game before, however, it is still one of the lesser mentioned horror games this year. It's rated a 5 out of 5 on both stores, one of the few offline survival horror games that I've personally had a few runs with myself. Think of it like this, the game was made so wisely, it was then, after a couple of months, remade for PCs and is still in the works for the Nintendo Switch. Works phenomenal, can't wait for developers to make part 3, the game's about 300 megabytes in total. Number 3, rated just the same, a 5 out of 5, one of the most wonderfully made survival horror thrillers, a no-brainer over here. It's not from a big or a well-known developer, this thing's actually its team's first attempt at horror games, and it is so good in replay, it feels like it was ported from PCs. Amazing game, even better controls, horrifying chasing and jump scares, and all that with just one downside, just one. The game doesn't really have a story, and honestly, it doesn't even need one. Alright, don't let this fool you, just give it a second. Scary School Sim here is definitely one of the underrated games and is disliked a lot due to its design. This game is following an original PC game that was released a few years ago. This sequel over here, Scary School Sim 2, is still in the works for PCs and is right now for some reason free on mobiles with no bugs, no glitches. It's a 400 piece of anime horror thriller and playable offline as well. Moving on to number 5, we have something here called Friends. This is a interactive story horror game. I kid you not. I know looks could be deceiving. This is legitimately the scariest game to play, no matter when you're picking it up. I mean, it's quite scary at night, but try playing it at noon. It's a horror game based on tactile interactions and communications like the ones you have with e-girls, like scary chat stories, you know? It's a non-linear game, got a lot of puzzles and quite scary if you were to take it even slightly serious. Coming up behind that, from the same developers of the original series, Paper Bride Games, that first came out a couple years ago on mobiles, we've got over here the sequel, Paper Bride 3, Unresolved Love. This is, in case you were new to, a Chinese-style mystery horror puzzler on a point-and-click in nature. If you do enjoy the nature of a horror mystery puzzle game, I do not have another recommendation other than this one. It's a freaking gem in story, content, puzzles, except it could get a little bit hard, but that's all. Moving on to number 7, we have Reporter. This is coming from old school horror game veterans. It's an action horror game, formerly a $6 piece, now discounted to 99 cents for Halloween, and it plays offline too. If you have had action horror games before on mobiles and figured it's not really scary at the palm of your hand, try this one. It is actually made so smartly, you might actually throw your phone a few times throughout the whole thing. Great graphics, amazing attention to detail, and all that somehow for just 300 megabytes in total. Quick mention over here with this one, Killer Clown is another offline horror game trying to capture the Halloween vibe, released not too long ago and very well received. It's not an action nor a shooter or something, but a narrative driven, like escape horror game. Quite well made actually and really enjoyable to follow. It's about 600 megabytes in total and works on both platforms. Coming as its developer's first work, you see, this trailer is awful, but I promise you right now, you're looking at one of the best horror games that was ever made. This thing over here is so underrated, I wish I could be a publisher or something to make it go viral. But I don't really think I even have to, because it's so good. I'm sure it will at some point. Play this one through its demo. This gem is not even downloaded 1,000 times, but definitely worth every second that you spend in it. It's a demo and the full game is about $50. Why? Number 10, this has also been a thing since 2017. It was released just a few days ago to come around for Halloween, thanks to Netflix. Slay Away Camp, the sequel, is now on both the Google and the App Store for those of you with a subscription. If you aren't familiar with this one, it's a horror-themed block sliding puzzle game. It's got Friday the 13th vibes as well, playable offline and about 400 megabytes in total. And here's today's honorable mentions.
Stage and insult the crap out of these thimbleweed idiots. I hope your old diner gets hit by a meteor. You old lady! You up the... You. Come on.
Will you come with me? Millie is mine!